Come join me. Live chat. Guys, come join me. How's everybody doing? Hello, hello, hello. Come and join me, everybody. You can see my clock behind me. You guys come join me. Come join in. Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I think morning for some people. Good evening and good morning. Let's back this camera up a little bit. Here we go. Hey, Miss Julie, how are you doing? Welcome aboard. How are you? Is this your first time? Oh, I'm so honored that you're here. It is first time live. Thank you so much for being here. I am so honored. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel as well. Hi, Tony. Good evening from Miami, Florida. Glad you're back. Love your live stream. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And welcome back, Miss Tony. Hi, Miss Joyce. How are you? Still getting over my narcissist destructive marriage. You know what? You and almost everybody on this YouTube channel, and I'm not saying in a marriage, everybody was not in a marriage. He's hoovering. I believe it. And are you staying no contact? Are you staying? Oh, she's sending her love out to everybody. It's Miss Julie. Help me pronounce your last name, okay? Julie Steen. Hi, Miss Robbie. Thank you, Miss Joyce. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm not going to stay on forever, okay? Normally we get into this great conversation, then we're on here for like 3 days. So I know everybody has to go to work, so I just wanted to come on really quick before you guys start your week. Miss Julie, Miss Tony said, welcome to the channel. I am your host, Dr. Carmen Bryant. My business is Psychological Health Consultants and Services. Hey there, Miss Robbie. Hello, Miss Elizabeth. Oh, New York. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm honored, and thank you for joining me this evening. If you guys have any questions, make sure you ask. I am Dr. Carmen Bryant from Psychological Health Consultants and Services, and my program is called Redefining Yourself. It's a program, bless you. Oh, thank you. It is a program that I designed for women that are coming out, that are thinking of leaving, that may have left and are recovering from domestic violence. But my specific topic of interest is overcoming narcissist abuse. Narcissist abuse is very different than the average abuse that you hear about when you go into shelters or you hear people talk about domestic violence. It is still under the umbrella of domestic violence. It is still domestic violence, but it's very unique in itself. And usually the recovery process is very long, but the damage that this type of abuse does is usually very long and hard, and people suffer a lot. And many people that have been emailing me and posting comments. First of all, thank you guys so much, males and females. Just because the program was developed for the women, we are now finding out, hey, Ms. Lovey, thank you so much for joining me. But even though it's a program that was developed for women, we have a whole lot of women that are on our scope. Hey, Miss Lovely One. But I tried to come on a little early tonight, so try to get back as quick as I could after my duties were completed to get back to kind of catch you guys before it was too late. But even though the channel was basically made for women who were coming out of this, we have now, I mean, it's not now that we've discovered, we've known this already, that men go through domestic violence as well. But we have a whole lot of gentlemen that are sharing their stories about their experience with a narcissistic female. And so, as I always say, I've been wanting, oh, you been waiting on me? I tried to come on. I tried to get here as quick as I could, you guys. I did. Try to come as quick as I could. If in the car, I would have only been able to record off of one camera. So, and then you guys would have seen me driving. So that's not cool. But even though this is, for the ladies, the gentlemen have been through excruciating pain just as much as we have. And a lot of the men have shared their stories about their experiences with females. So it's given us another input and insight on men that have been through narcissist abuse. Men that are going through or have been discarded, and some of the things that they've been through. Very similar to what we've been through. The difference may be, some of the physical violence that women have experienced. Hey there, Mr. Naylor, welcome. And here goes one of our gentlemen I was talking about. I was just talking about you gentlemen being on the scope and providing us some awesome insight and some feedback on what it was like to be in a relationship with a female that was a narcissist. Hello, Mr. David Thorns. You were with a narc? I believe it. If you popped on here, I believe it. So we do have another gentleman here on the on the Facebook page. His name is Mr. David Thorns. Said he was also in a narcissistic relationship. And so I'm honored that you would actually, admit that. Some men will not admit that. So thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for being honest enough to tell us that. We love to hear, us women love to hear, not saying that it's a good thing that we hear, but we love to hear your story so we can get an insight of what it's like to be with a female narcissist. Let's see. It says Miss Julie, he was your heroine. He was. We're gonna put that in past tense, okay? He was your heroine. Listening to you all helped me stay clean. That's what I'm talking about. See, you guys play a major role in a lot of these people that are coming on here. They're reading your comments. Yes, thank you. It was a real eye-opening experience. Thank you so much for sharing too, Mr. Naylor. Thank you so much, Mr. David, for being here. But you guys don't know that, your questions, a lot of questions that you guys have are questions that people may have but are afraid to ask. And some, a lot of the questions that you guys ask are questions that other people have been afraid to ask or they couldn't think of how to articulate to say. And a lot of things that you guys write on the on questions and answers and comments. Hi there, it's the Panther Queen. Go ahead, Miss Panther Queen. How are you? And then Eshi, okay, did I pronounce this right? Ishi Peesh, new to my page. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. So you're on the YouTube channel too? Thank you for joining me and thank you for subscribing to my page. I'm truly honored. Thank you so much. Hey there, TMG. How are you? Welcome. It's so nice to see you here. Mr. Naylor said it was a nightmare to say the least, Doctor, the dehumanizing feeling like you weren't even human, being with real feelings and emotions. Okay, I may have mispronounced. I don't know what you were trying to say there. Ms. Tony said, the worst abuse ever. I left my ex-husband on June of 2017, divorced him July of 2018, and I'm still recovering. It's going to take a while for me. Yes, it will. Hey, Mr. Rubio, how are you, sir? Best therapist there is? Oh, thank you. I'm so honored. TMG better? Naylor Phil, oh, okay. K-Love, hey, K-Love. Good evening, Dr. Brown. Oh, that was me. Hey, good evening to you guys. Thank you so much for joining. If you guys, I usually put a title up there of something that we can talk about, but I know you guys will usually ask questions, and so we usually don't follow the title. We don't follow the log. So whatever questions you guys have, please do not be afraid to ask it. You may be asking a question that someone else may have thought of or may be afraid to ask. So any questions you guys have. One of the things, the topic that I put up today, and first of all, for all the new subscribers, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to the page. Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. Sometimes this doesn't scroll down where I can see the new question. Let me see. I've been recovering for a year and a half, and it still comes in waves. I wish it would go away for good. I left him. You know what? Like I always say, you guys, if any of you guys have ever had a surgery, why do I still think about my ex-narcissist husband? I'm going to get to that in just a second. I'm great. Let me answer Miss Ishi. Hopefully I said that right. The biggest thing is think about it for just a minute. If you've ever had surgery before, something was wrong. And when you have surgery, the pain of the surgery feels like worse than the original pain of whatever the problem was. If you got hit by a Mack truck and you had to go into surgery to get things repaired. When you're with a narcissist, it's like being with the Tasmanian devil. It's like they come in and just tear up everything. They tear up the way that you think. They manipulate you. They tear up the way that you think. They tear down your self-esteem. They do so much collateral damage that this type of recovery takes a long time. Miss Ishii, I don't know if you've watched the videos on my YouTube channel, but if you go to trauma bonding, I have a trauma bonding 1 and 2. It actually talks about the trauma bonding and why it's like an addiction to that person. You're addicted to a person, and the pain and almost like the withdrawal symptoms you have coming out of a relationship with a narcissist because of the type of abuse they do and the type of damage they do. And so, yes, some of you guys, sometimes I think Miss Bridget, is Miss Bridget on here? Let me look. I don't think Miss Bridget's on here. She's a domestic violence advocate, but she says that, sometimes people leave 7 or 10 times from a domestic violent relationship before they leave for good. Think about those people that are drug addicts. A lot of times they relapse, before they truly recover from, and that's a drug. The narcissist became a drug. It became everything that you talked them into being, because it was an illusion. And so you became addicted to a person. That was the whole point, for them to get addicted to you. That's why you still think about your ex narc husband, Miss Tony, because you were trauma bonded. And those oxytocins in your brain, the chemicals that cause you. Miss Tony, do you have any children? And I'm giving you an example. Ms. TMG said, what are some self-soothing techniques we can use when in the initial stages of no contact? You know what? You got to make yourself busy. You got to go find something to do to make yourself busy. Ms. TMG, you are a productive woman. You are a business woman. And what you need to do is you need to find something. Number one, you're going through the process of healing, and find something that's of interest to you that's going to help other people. But when you help other people, don't help people, in the process. Find a blog and talk about your experience, but not in detail where everybody knows all the details, but talk from a healing point. You have to get to a point of healing, though. Don't do it if you're not from a point of being able to talk to people and being able to help them through a process. There's a certain process you've come through, or maybe resources, but you have to find something to keep yourself busy. Find something to keep yourself busy. You have a business. Go back and start growing your business. Go back and start getting your business back together to get back on your feet. Go to school. Find a hobby. Go to the gym and begin to work out. If you have friends, go. And I know where you're at, so I'm not going to say, I know where you're at. So there's a lot of stuff to do where you're at, Ms. TMG. Find something to do to keep yourself busy. That's what you have to do. At night, go drink some chamomile tea. Matter of fact, I just grabbed some. Let me grab my little chamomile tea. Let's see. Scared to get into another relationship. My trust for people is gone. When you first come out of a relationship like that, we shouldn't be looking for a relationship to get into. It takes a while to heal. It takes a while to get your confidence back. It takes a while to unwind yourself from how you were wound into thinking, and so you have to remember, it's not time to jump right back in. If you jump right back in with your wounds open and festering, you're going to get right back into another bad relationship, because you haven't learned the lesson yet. You see what I mean? You've already been tricked into the relationship you in and violently abused. And so you have to heal. You have to get information. Let's see, Miss Julie, Tony hugs. Got to listen to your story. Sounds familiar. Sending strength. It's a lifelong recovery. It can be a lifelong recovery, though, Miss Julie. It can be a lifelong recovery. So, and I'm gonna tell you about that in just a second. Miss Karen said, "Good evening, Dr. B. Thanks for all you do. Great help." Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. It was 7 times for me. Now the narc free 3 years and feel fantastic. You can do this, definitely. Let me ask you a question, Miss Karen. What Miss Julie said, is a lifelong recovery process. I know you're still recovering, Miss Karen, but with that statement that she made, how long has it been? You feel good? You feel free? Do you feel confident to date yet? And Miss Tony said, yes, but not with him. My daughters are adults. Excellent. Good. So Miss Tony, see, when you when you have children, oxytocin is released in your brain to cause you to be able to bond with your children. Oxytocin is released whenever you starting to become addicted to drugs. That's the same chemical that gets you addicted to drugs. Oxytocin is released when you're in a sexual act, or in a sexual act with an individual, and you begin to bond with that individual, and so you begin to bond with that narcissist. Those chemicals were released to cause you to bond. So to get away from that person is like the chemicals, just like in drug addicts, the chemical begins to go low. Your body begins to crave it to a point where it feels like you're having withdrawals. That's probably what you're experiencing. Ms. K. Love said the ex-narc is hoovering by proxy like crazy. I'm tired of paying to get my phone number changed. It's like he doesn't want me to forget him, and all I want is peace because I'm never going back. Ms. K. Love, is there any way that you can get a no contact order, and let someone know if you have a domestic violence program in the local area, the police department, to find out how you can get this person to stop stalking you? Miss Tony said, thanks, Julie. Let me go over here, okay? Miss Ishii says, his new supply is very controlling and is financially better than him. I'm glad in the sense that it helps me not be bothered with him. I believe she is a narc too. I always wondered how two narcs got along, or do they? Girl, two narcs don't get along. That's like two atomic bombs being put together. That's a disaster waiting to happen. So Miss Eshi over here said his new supply is very controlling and is financially better than him. I'm glad in the sense that it helps me to not be bothered with him. I believe she's a narc too. I always wondered how two narcs got along, or do they? They don't. It's just a matter of time that they're going to explode. Because think about it. Usually two narcs hate each other. And they're doing the exact same thing. They're love bombing. They're triangulating. They're hoovering. They're doing the exact same thing to each other. And eventually they just explode. They usually hate each other. Two narcs usually end up usually meet each other and end up hating each other. Because remember, they got a God complex and they're better than everybody. So one person is better than the other. But who is it? Which narc is it? Sadly, he's an absentee parent to our 5-year-old, but I think that that's better than having an abusive parent. You know what? I totally agree. I know it's very painful, and I'm very, very sorry that he's an absentee parent to your child, but you make sure that you be the best parent, and you make sure, I don't know if it's male or female, you make sure, if you have a support group, you have family, you have male figures around, to make sure that they play a role in that child's life, so that child does not feel like they lack. And you spend time with that child. You make sure that you invest in that baby, but just know that for some people, it's better for the parent to be absent because of the fact that they use the child as the child becomes what we would call a method of hoovering you. And they'll hoover through the child, but they'll use the child to maintain some type of communication with you. They got engaged within 2 months of getting together. He's very good in bed. But you know what? The problem is that he's if you have to go back and listen to my video that I did on narcissist and sex, and usually what you'll find out is they're very mechanical, but they learn from each supply that they get to. If that's your thing, then they learn what you like, and then they do that. But if you watch them, it's almost mechanical. It's almost like mechanical. They do the same things all the time, but they learn from different people to put their little bag of tricks together, in other words. But go watch that video that I did, narcissist and I think sex. He said they argue every day. See, two narcs don't get along. They ain't gonna make it. Let's see. Miss Karen said, it's so important to go no contact. Stay busy. Treat yourself. Kind. Walk. Music. Massages. You can do it. Exactly. Miss Julie said, it took me seeing him on a sugar daddy website. Girl, sugar daddy. You know what? Website, and with a paid escort in my home to finally start breaking the soul tie. Worst addiction, my advice on breaking soul ties. You know what? The same thing addicts have to do. Some of them have to go cold turkey. You need to go find yourself a good counselor to help you and walk you through the grief and loss, okay? You go through grief and loss because, hey, Miss Jamila, hey, Miss Nakia, but you go find a good counselor that's going to help you walk through grief and loss. And then Miss Tony said, yes, ma'am, so true. It's me time now. Exactly. But Miss Julie, go find yourself a good counselor to help you with the grief and loss process. Mr. Naylor said, Dr. Bryant, why do we fear people in general and are afraid to trust? Because of the pain that you went through. You get hurt enough, you get bit by a dog, you'll start being scared of dogs. You know, if you get bit hard enough, you'll be afraid of dogs. You know, and so you got hurt really bad by a narcissist, so it makes you lose trust for people. That's a part of that is the part of the package with a narcissist. That's what happens. But you have to get your self-esteem back. You have to work on yourself. You have to understand that these are unique people. Everybody is not like a narcissist, and everybody is not a narcissist. Good evening. I like that profile picture. Let's see. Miss Karen said, no dating for me, yet I'm still getting to like me and really educate myself on this narcissistic stuff. I never fall for it again. Be careful when you say that. You have to educate yourself a lot because they're very good at what they do. And so a lot of times you meet narcissists, don't realize you've met a narcissist. You really have to get to know yourself, and you really have to heal and understand what you went through. But narcissists are not easy to detect. Great question, Jay Naylor. And Julie said, many we are all empaths to a degree. Jay Naylor is something I've learned about. And then Miss Karen said, once they get you with their sex act, then bam, it will dry up like crazy. They're weird. Because it's learned, you guys teach them. You teach them. Sex with, was it ex-husband? Was horrible. Zero connection, very mechanical. See, eventually they begin to show you who they really are. Everything that they do is, think about it, is very passionate and very intense, but just as passionate, as intense as they were when they got with you, is just as passionate, as intensely as they will hate you. Just that quick. And usually supplies, you know, what you like, their new tricks, the things you like to do, what pleases you, because you'll tell them. Miss Tony said, how do we remove that chemical in our brain that misses the narc? Need to study up on the chemicals you're talking about. You can't bond to people, bond to loved ones, bond during sex. You don't want to get rid of that chemical, Miss Tony. You want to keep that chemical. We want you to keep that chemical, okay? Or you'll be over here talking about, can you do one on I'm a narcissist? You want to keep that chemical. That's what helps you bond. And then Ms. Julie said, by the way, I wasn't looking for a sugar daddy, LOL. He was on the site when... Okay, you guys. I'm sorry. I was having some connection issues, but I'm back. Okay. Okay. Give me a second. Okay, Ms. Ishii said, our daughter is autistic with speech development delay, and I have a great amount of support for her. She's coming along nicely. Thank you. Good. See, invest your time in her, Miss Ishii. You know, it takes a while to recover from something like this. This is not a normal type of abuse. This right here, remember I told you guys that a narcissist can also have, you know, you've heard of the psychopaths and the sociopaths. You know, we see about them on television. They're murdering their families. They're killing their kids, you know. Well, a narcissist is on the same field, the same level as a psychopath and sociopath. And some of them are actually psychopaths and sociopaths as well. And so what you're dealing with is not a normal person. You're dealing with a person that has abnormal personality. They have a mental illness, even though they look normal and walk amongst us. Let's see. My ex was not very good in the sex area, but he was very good at his words, a master manipulator. That's what a narcissist is. They'll tell you things that you want to hear. They have a very soothing voice. Remember the future faking. They're going to tell you what you want to hear. And 9 times out of 10, they were listening to you, so they'll tell you what you want to hear. And Mr. Naylor, I would like to add that my life has gotten so much more peaceful. I no longer dread the weekends when I have to hear her and feel like a fool letting someone treat me like an abused animal. That's right. You're going to say the N-word. We're a strange guy. You're going to say the N-word. Who you going to call the N-word? But you do so if you want to. But I would take it that you may, weirdly strange guy, may be a narcissist yourself, but you're welcome. You go ahead and say the N-word if you want to, if that floats your boat. Let's see. I know, Lord. So that's right. You have to have value for yourself. You have to put value. You have to place value on yourself. If you don't place value on yourself, no one's going to place value on you. Mine was a covert, somatic, malignant, narcissistic psychopath. Now that's bad, but that is true. That is possible. I would like to ask, why do you treat me like that? I was going to say me. I would ask, okay, you would ask her, why do you treat me like that? She said, because you deserve it. So in my mind, I know they are well aware of treating you badly. Their pathology is so bad. Yes. Yep. He said, BG2, abuse equals no treatment, no traits. Okay, help me. I know, same thing I said, Mr. Naylor. No abuse equals golden rules. Okay, BG, I'm not following you. Help me explain to me what you're talking about. Mr. David Thorne said the narc moves quickly with the sex. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Male and females alike. Absolutely. Because if that is something that they think that you're in, especially a female is usually seductive. A female is usually, a lot of times they're very seductive. And let me tell you, men, something really quick. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Exactly, BG2. I agree with you, sir. Hopefully that's a sir. I'm sorry. But Mr. David Thorne said the narc moves quickly with sex. Yes, especially those that are somatic, that are more into the physical appearances, material possessions, sex. And so if they use sex, and females can be their mind, or the way that a woman's mind can be set is that men are weak. And when I say men are weak, a lot of women, especially if they're pretty, their assumption is that men are weak and they fall for sex very quickly. They can use their body, they can use seduction, and it makes it easy. So in their mind, if I can have sex with you, I can connect with you, and I can lock you in if the sex is good. Well, the power of sex may be in the woman, but the power of choice is in the man. Always remember that, gentlemen. Yes, yep. Always remember that. That's one thing that I learned from my mentor. The power of sex may be in the woman, but the power of choice is in the man. So don't ever think that the man has to choose. Even if you choose wrong, gentlemen, the power of choice is still in your hand. Let's see. Let's see. As a survivor, you don't notice the treatment until you finally say, wait a minute, this isn't normal. And I began to investigate and saw a therapist and said my intuition was correct. You're right. A lot of people don't know that they're going through abuse. You know that something's not right. Then take it away. Yes, they do. Yes, sir. Then they take it away. But they remember, if you guys remember watching my video on the narcissist and sex, I think that's the video I said it on too. The thing about it is that they use sex. Sex is not used as an intimate thing between two consenting adults to create a bond. That oxytocin is released. You guys create a bond. You get an intimate relationship, a closer relationship with each other. No, they use sex as a weapon. They use sex as a tool to try to hook you. They use sex as a tool even to punish you. That's what they use sex for. Sex is it's abnormal. It's not right with them. And then when you discover how abnormal they are, later on, you can look back to realize how abnormal the sex was as well. And for some people, it is the greatest sex you've ever had. But if they don't see it the same way. Hey, Miss Nakia, how are you doing? Welcome. So you'll find out that the sex is very awkward. The sex is unrealistic. It's even sometimes very perverse, very almost unnatural. They ask you to do things that is abnormal or not normal. Mr. David Thorne said they take it away to drive you crazy. They take it away to maintain control. They need that fuel. That fuel is you begging them to come back. You begging them. That's fuel to them. Remember, the greatest fuel to a narcissist is to see you hurting. To see you hurting. They love to see people in pain. They love to see people hurting. It just provides them with fuel. The first sign of abuse is realizing something isn't the way relations are normally, and the invalidation and gaslighting start taking effect and feeling like you're crazy. That's the whole purpose of what they do. Yep. That is the whole purpose of what they do. I would put my glasses on to read what you guys are writing, but I tried them out before I turned it on, and there's a big reflection in the camera, so it reflects back in my face, so I can't see. And so those little letters, it takes me a minute to read them all, so forgive me, you guys, okay? Miss Ishii said, they say online dating websites are full of narcs. Yeah, that is like a fishing in a pond. Oh my gosh, yes, my ex used sex in the very beginning, such an elementary learning tactic, and yes, excuse me, used it as a control. Exactly. You guys, let me tell you something. Um, I can't tell you what to do. You guys are all grown men and women, you know, and how you live your life and what you do when you live your life is not my business. But I will say, when it comes to online dating sites, you guys have to be careful. You got people, like she said, you know, you got narcissists. That is the best way that they'll find you, because they think that they find desperate people on a website. They look for people that are needy, or they look for people that are that's the best fishing pond for a narcissist. And you got to be careful, men and women alike. You got to be careful. Right here in Seattle, we had a lady who had 3 children that went on a date with someone that she met on a dating site, and was murdered, was missing the night she went out on the date. She was missing, and she was murdered. And I think they found her body parts in trash cans down the streets of her house. And she left 3 children behind. The first time she went on a date with this individual. You guys got to be careful. There's some lunatics, some crazy folks out there on these dating websites. You got to be careful, men and women alike, because there are some women that are just that crazy. Tony said, will the narcissist ever change? No. Will they be like this forever? Yes. Well, that was a simple question, huh? Narcissistic personality disorder, if you actually go, I don't recall which video, if you guys remember which video that I made, but I did talk about the narcissistic personality disorder. It is a mental health disorder, and it is a disorder. It's a personality disorder. It's a personality disorder. I think mental health, I talked about it as well. And in some other videos, I'm not sure all the videos I talked about it, but narcissistic personality disorder is a personality disorder in the DSM, which is the book that is used by those in the mental health field, in the psychiatric field. They'll let you know that they used to have the axis 1 through 5. Now the way that we do axis is we put it all together to explain it all together. But axis 1 was like basic things like major depressive disorder, anxiety disorder, and then like mood disorders. And then the axis 2 was personality disorders. Personality disorders are ingrained, permanent traits in a person's personality. Pathology, meaning that something has went wrong, when something they start having, when they stop being able to function in society and with other people, and it causes them problems, and that is pathology. Then it becomes a problem. Narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, now is called anti-personality disorder, but it was known as sociopath and psychopath, personality disorder. Put those two together. But personality disorders are permanent, dysfunctional character flaws and personality dysfunctions. They don't change. You can't change those. Those are permanent. Some type of trauma has occurred for the narcissist in the developmental years, where it's like an autoimmune deficiency, where the immune system turns on itself and begins to fight the body as if the body is attacking the body. And so narcissistic personality disorder is the same way. It is a defense mechanism that is turned against itself. A narcissist is truly a very, has a low self-esteem, has low self-worth, is usually very anxious. They're spoiled to the core. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're very damaged individuals. Very, very damaged individuals. So, Ms. Tony, hopefully that answered your question. They won't change. It's permanent. Sunflower Babe said, I regret I ever showed my pain to him before I learned about narcissist abuse. He laughed in my face and teased me for being hurt. Yeah, that's exactly what they do. He was devaluing you. So you were already, by that time, you were in the devalue stage. And the devalue stage eventually ends up in the discard stage. Miss Lovely One said, I met my narcissist husband on Match.com. Miss Lovely One. And he was a narcissist. I think that's exactly what Mr. David not Miss David, Miss Ishii just said. No more online dating. Miss Lovely One. And then Jay Naylor, they enjoy seeing you in pain, definitely. Another reason to stay away from them. It's insidious to know they get off on your pain and at the same time tell you that they love you to deepen the trauma bond. Exactly. See, you're learning. Spoiled to the core, yes. Tony said, wow. And then Miss Lovely One said, yes, they love seeing people hurting. Exactly. Let's see comments over here. Miss Ishi said, ex-Nard is 38 and acts like he's 13, 14 years old. That's probably the point of trauma. Usually, if you can pick out around the age that they act, is usually around the time of their trauma. So if he's acting like he's 13, 14, that's probably the point of trauma, 13, 14 years old. The new supply has no idea and thinks I'm jealous. I admit that I'm jealous of the sex I know he's given her. I hate feeling like that. But you know what, Miss Ishi? Eventually, you are going to heal. I promise you're going to heal. You got to stay focused, okay? The sex is just sex. It's not. It doesn't mean anything to a narcissist. Sex does not mean anything to a narcissist. A narcissist could care less. It's only used for a weapon to pull in a person. It's the same thing with you. It was just, and then he can use it to hoover you too. But sex does not mean anything to a narcissist. Mr. David Thorne said their user, she cleaned me out. She cleaned out your bank account. Oh wow. So you guys want a joint account. And Ms. Ishii said, but everything else about him was, I'm not going to say that, good, then bad, then good, then bad. I got tired and couldn't take it anymore. How long have you been no contact, Ms. Ishii? Let's see. I believe my narc was raised by a narc mother and they hid behind their faith. Part-time Christians and racist. Wow. She too was a spoiled brat, 44-year-old brat. She probably was a narcissist. A lot of times narcissists do come out of narcissistic families. So a lot of times narcissists will come out of narcissistic families. Or a lot of empaths come from narcissistic families too. Ms. Ishii said, says sex is nothing to him. Wow, you're on point. Yeah. Teach about it all the time. Sex means nothing. It means something to you. So he used that as a weapon against you and a weapon against the other person. You see how you're responding? But sex means nothing to him. So he was probably more of a cerebral narcissist. Even though somatic narcissists, they will use sex, but a cerebral narcissist, sex doesn't mean anything to them. They're more mind. They're more intellect. Tony said, mine stole my car to keep me from leaving him and watched my reaction to my car being stolen. He nearly killed me mentally, taking depression medication right now because of this abuse. 10 years gone. Wow. Miss Tony says, but I have peace now. Good. Good. Yeah, they're all about the reaction. Remember, they get fueled. So one thing they hate is when you, hey, Pastor Ali. One thing that they hate is when you gray rock them. Gray rock means you take all the emotions out of the conversation. All the emotions are out of the conversation. And they hate that. Hey, Donna, just being real. How are you doing? Glad to see you here. But yes, if you take all the emotions out of your conversation, they can't stand it. They're looking for fuel. They're looking for a reaction. So you guys have to learn how to respond and not react, because they're looking for a reaction. They're looking for you to react to what they say. So that means stealing your car. Excuse me, guys, I'm sorry, but stealing your car and watching your reaction, cussing you out and watching your reaction. Kind of missed you there, but stealing your car, saying something about your kids, or lying about you, or smearing your name, or talking about you, and then watching your reactions. That's fuel to them. That is fuel. And some of you guys are not just hurt, but you're angry. You're angry. That's why I made the title, hurt, angry, and wanting vengeance. Vengeance is not going to get you guys anywhere. I'm telling you now. It doesn't matter if you hurt them and you watch them hurt. It's only temporary. And then it's a battle between you and the narc. And the thing about it is, in a narc's mind, a narc can never, ever lose. So they'll forever pursue you to get you back. Always remember that. If you hurt a narcissist, if they have a narc injury, even with you leaving, they will always pursue you to get you back. Don't ever battle with a narcissist. Don't ever try to get vengeance, because vengeance is only going to give you maybe a moment of relief or a moment of gratification. But think about it. All of the pain that they have caused is, you still have to deal with that. That pain is still there. The pain is still there, and you still have to get beyond that. Positive Vibration said the ex-narc withheld sex with me for 5 years. 5 years while in the relationship. However, he had another primary or secondary supply with whom he had sex twice a week. I believe that. 5 years, you should have known something was going on. I am so sorry to hear that. How long have you been, are you out of the relationship now, Positive Vibrations? And Mr. Naylor said, good riddance, nothing but evil and hurtful. They love any reaction, even if it's negative. Exactly. Stonewalling. That's what I was saying. Stonewalling is a way to be responsible for their action. Miss Tony said, well, gray rocking is taking the emotion out. Or stonewalling is taking the reaction out. I have to go back and look. Tony said, Dr. Carmen, I will never forget. He asked me one time that if anything ever happened to me, would the federal government take care of him? I mean, what has been asked that type of question? Because he was thinking about killing you. He was thinking about killing you. Now, that's powerful. I work for the federal government. He wanted the federal government to take care of him. Miss Tony, he was thinking about killing you. I'm just going to keep it, let's keep it real. Let's keep it like the kids say, let's keep it 100. He was thinking, he asked you that question. See, a lot of times if you listen to what the narcissist is saying, they're telling on themselves. If you listen to the question that they ask and you listen to what they're saying, they're telling on themselves. I'm telling you guys, they're telling on themselves. And Miss Tony, I can tell you now, he's planning on killing you. So thank God you got out of there. Miss Ishii said no contact for a year and a half. Okay. Y'all bear with me, okay? Y'all don't laugh at me. We're going to work this out. Said no contact for a year and a half, and all because of trying to co-parent. But ever since the new supply has been in the picture, they have tried to take me to court about our daughter, but the court made it supervised. No third parties allowed. He missed 6 visits out of 10, and now nothing since the court won't give him supervised visits. He only did that to try to impress the new supply, to make her think he's a good parent and I'm withholding our daughter. But he already wasn't involved, maybe 10% involved. Good job, and good job for not losing your cool. Stay cool, okay? Don't give him a reaction. You did the right thing. Don't give him a reaction. And so excellent. And then, I mean, right there, you figured it out yourself. You knew exactly what happened. So I'm glad that you figured that out. Good job, Miss Ishii. Did I miss something over here? Let me look. Miss Tony, Miss Donna said exactly. Tony said, oh my gosh. But see, when you are in such close relationships with a narcissist, a lot of times you don't see what everybody else sees. A lot of times they have numbed you, they have manipulated, they have trauma bonded you, and they have desensitized you. Think about this for a minute. When you have a, let's say a child molester, a pedophile, they've got to groom the child to decrease, what was the word I just used? To decrease, not decrease, to desensitize the child, to make it seem like these things are normal. And so you have been desensitized where those things that should be alarming to you is not alarming to you anymore. But when you begin to tell your story and someone is telling you the truth, most of the time, if you're still in the relationship, most people are like, no, he would not do that. That's not the type of person he is. I've had people argue with me about that. That's not the type of person, you don't understand him. That is not the type of person that he is. But yet, as clear as this right here. But a lot of times we don't see it because you have been desensitized. And so that right there, he's asking questions. If you listen to what a narcissist is saying, they're telling you how they think. Sometimes if you listen, not sometimes, but if you listen, they'll tell you what they're thinking. I have a question for the chat room. How long did it take to see the mask, take to see the mask fall? Mask slip off. Okay. Let me go back. And says, Tony, I remember him getting really upset because I never responded to his question. I was shocked. Miss Tony, he was planning on killing you. He just wanted to know whether he was going to get some money. He was already planning it, but he messed around and said it. And so he told you what he was thinking. You just didn't realize what he was thinking. He planned on killing you, my dear. I'm keeping it real. He discarded, so positive vibration said he discarded me in April of 2018. During those 5 years, he would say, he had ED, too tired, or he would try to have sex, sloppy drunk, which was a turn off to me. That's because of the fact he already had another supply to appease him in sex. And it wasn't that, he just needed some more supply and whatever type of narcissist that he was. And I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. You guys got any more questions? Talk to me. How many of you guys are angry, hurt, and want vengeance? You guys got quiet over here on Facebook. Mr. David Thorne said, narcs don't have friends, they have sex partners. Ah, but check this out, Mr. David. Not every narc has sex partners. Narcissists cannot regulate themselves. You know how we can regulate ourselves? Sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're sad, but we can kind of find pleasure in the day. And let me go get me some coffee, let me get me some Starbucks to get my little mood going. You know, whatever it is that you like. Let me go to the gym, let me get myself. But you see how you're capable of self-regulating yourself? Let me go get me some chamomile tea so I can go to sleep, or, you know, anything like that. Narcs do not have the capacity to regulate themselves. The way that they regulate their moods is everybody is responsible for, they look at everyone from being responsible of how they feel. And so not every supply that a narcissist gets is there for sex. Some supply is there for finances. Some supply is there for the admiration and the idea and the worship. They're, you know, to worship them on the ground and they get the compliments. There are some sources of supply there for sex. Yes, there are some sources of supply. They have sources of supply for everything. They cannot regulate. It's like medication. Medication for sleep. Medication to wake up. Medication for depression. Medication for anxiety. Medication to pay attention. Medication to concentrate. That's how supply is to a narcissist. That's how supplies are. Hey, Miss Teresa, how are you? Miss Teresa, Miss Tony, Miss Teresa said, my ex was going to hire 2 women to beat up the ex-wife number 2. That's when I first realized how dangerous he could be. So Miss Tony, this is what Miss Teresa said over on Facebook. She said that her ex-narc was going to hire 2 women to beat up the ex-wife. And so that's when she realized how dangerous they were. Okay. Let's see. So TMG said it took 2 weeks to see the mask. And I just didn't know that's what it was at the time. And then Mr. Naylor said, Jay Naylor said, I want peace. Vengeance is for the Lord. There you go, Mr. Naylor. And then let's see. K Love said, Jay Naylor, 2 weeks, but I didn't know what narcissism was and that he was hiding behind a mask. Miss Donna, just being real, says, so true. And then Tony Chavez, Miss Tony said, my God. Donna said, wow, shake my head. And then okay, if I pronounce this wrong, please forgive me. Nantowo? Hopefully I said that right, Nantowo. I have been no contact for 4 months now, but we have kids together and I am in a dilemma now. I feel I am not strong enough to face the situation and feel guilty about kids missing him. Miss Nantowo. I'm going to call you Miss Nan. I'm not sure. Miss Nan. Is there a court order in place? If there's a court order in place, you know, to maintain your no contact, just follow the court order, Miss Nan. If there's a court order in place, follow the court order. If not, you know, even if you follow the court order and you have to talk to him, you know, keep it strictly about the kids. If he asks, you know, how's your day, you know, how's God, when they want to do a little chit chat and a little talk, don't indulge them with the little talk. That's just another way to hoover you. And then they will use the kids to try to hoover you. You know, if there's no court order, I mean, you just be safe and go get a parenting plan. If you need a supervised visit, if you feel it may be unsafe, you know, you need supervised visit, put that in the paperwork, okay? But you have to do what's safe for you and what's safe for the kids. And just like I always say, if you were a source of supply, so are the kids. You know, you are an intimate source of supply, but the kids are sources of supply too. So the same way that they manipulate you, the same way that they devalue you, the same way that they trauma bond you, they do the exact same thing to the children. They do the exact same thing to the kids. They devalue them. They make them afraid. They threaten them. They bully them. You know, there's certain things that they say. There's certain terms that they use. So they mess with the kids' minds too. They do the same thing that they do to you guys. TMG said, my father is a narc. Be strong, Nantowo. Nantowo. You're doing the best thing. My mama left to probably save my life. There you go. Kimar, if I say this right, Kimar Brown. In my case, I honestly can say I was a victim of circumstances. I didn't know what narcissism was. So were you in a relationship with a narc, Kimar? Kimar, are you male, female? I'm not sure. I don't want to say Mr. and you a miss. Forgive me. And TMG, my ex killed our dogs, that's when I realized I had a problem on my hands. And this wasn't about military stress. Absolutely not. It was a narcissist. Has nothing to do with military stress. Mr. Davis said, wow. Absolutely not. Has nothing to do with military stress. How long was he in the military? Tell me that. And Miss Tony Chavez said, I didn't know either, Kamar Brown. And then Jay Naylor said, I think most people don't know about narcissism is until you are dealing with it in your life and you research so much that it becomes an obsession. Yes. A lot of people that were in a narcissistic relationship don't know that they were in a narcissistic relationship. They have no idea. They had no idea that they were in a narcissistic relationship. It is not until now, because this type of abuse is kind of strange. So this is not like, battering and drunk and this type of abuse, this narcissist abuse, this is kind of almost like strange, like it's awkward. You actually say in your head, this person, something is wrong with this person. There's a difference between mental illness and there is something wrong with this person, like something is mentally wrong with this person. Positive Vibration said, amen, the ex-narc now has a new lifestyle. It's the Northeast IKEA lifestyle, full of new supply, male and female. There you go. Yes, Jay Naylor. There you go. Kemar or Kmar? 4 years this year, never delayed. Good job. 4 years. Oh, he's still in the military now? Deployed. Oh, he's still in the military? I thought he got out the military. Over here. Hi, Miss Tasha Hunter Sparks. How are you? Miss Tasha says, court order or not, you must. So this is for Miss Nantowo. Miss Nantowo. Miss Tasha Hunter Sparks over on Facebook says, court order or not, you must do what is safe for you. I'm going back to court to change it because we live in 2 different states. Driving at night to exchange kids isn't safe. Good job, Miss Tasha. And it depends on your state laws too. You have to figure out what the state laws are. Miss please, I think I'm just tearing your name up. Or your screen name up. Nantowo. Go, if you have a domestic violence advocate in your area, go talk to a domestic violence advocate and see what they can do to assist you. As TMG said, his grandmother told me what he was after he killed those dogs. Did the grandmother know that he was a narcissist? Mr. J. Naylor, I thought narcissism was someone at the gym that was glued to a mirror looking at themselves. Coverts are the worst. Yeah, so yeah, they glued and they loved them. I'm surprised they didn't start kissing themselves in the screen. But yeah, there's more to narcissism than that. And Donna, just being real, narcissist abuse relationship, it is so completely different. It is. And that's why I tell everybody, when you go to counseling, to go counseling for domestic violence versus domestic violence, narcissist abuse is totally different. A lot of therapists do not understand narcissist abuse. They do not, because they don't know. But a lot of them do not know that what a narcissist or narcissist abuse is relatively, it is not new because it's in the DSM, but most people haven't been talking about it. And now people are starting to talk about it. Let's see. Ms. TMG, it took 10 months to leave, but I left. Good, and you stay gone. Don't you go back. If he's killed a dog, don't ever think that he may not try to kill you. And I'm just keeping it real, okay? I'm like Miss Donna, just being real. Kamar Brown said at Tony, and to make matters even worse, I just need to believe that people are so evil. Narcissists are. Psychopaths are. Sociopaths are. Yeah, still in the Marines, huh? Let me tell you something. I'm a former United States soldier in the United States Army. So I'm a veteran. I am a soldier for life, and I'm going to tell you this one thing, and this is coming from a former first sergeant, okay? If this is his behavior, TMG, and this is what he acts like outside the military, is going to catch up with him on the inside. You can't hide that type of behavior. I promise you, you cannot hide that type of behavior, and it's going to it's going to manifest in his military career, and if he doesn't get caught, if he, I mean, if when he gets caught in the Marines, they're stricter. He will be put out. He will lose his career. Evil is the word, Kamar Brown. Yep. At Kamar, TMG, exactly the word his grandmother used to describe him. It was like a movie scene. Like, who uses the word to describe a loved one? Because she probably knew. Kamar, my Mark was going through a miscarriage. Okay, so Miss Kamar, you're a miss. Okay. My Mark was going through a miscarriage, and then I was thinking, oh, I'm sorry, you're a mister. There you go. My Mark was going through a miscarriage, and then I was thinking she was acting crazy because of symptom of miscarriage. But to be honest, there was a lot of red flags. Yeah. Okay, so you're a mister. TMG, yes, but I don't think she knew the name of it. Oh, okay. She know the name of it, but she was on point. Donna, just being real. Dr. Carmen, do you know about the book called Psychopath Free? I think I've heard of it. I think I've heard of that book. And then Kamar, you're right, Dr. Carmen. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. Narcissist abuse totally changed my life, giving me a different outlook on everything. Yes, it does. It opens up your eyes to a whole new world that you had no idea that people can act this way or think this way. That people can actually, what most people say is crazy. Kamar, let's see. Nantua, true, I didn't know neither. And yes, he has been using the kids to hoover me 3, then discard. But I didn't know about Narcissist until the final discard, right? And then hold on, let me go over here and look at another one before I get to you, positive vibration, okay? And then David Thorne said, it's just like R. Kelly. It's just like R. Kelly, a narc too. There you go. I don't like to talk about, TV personalities and everything. I mean, you guys have watched the documentary. His wife at the very end, his ex-wife at the very end, when she was talking about the song, I think I admit or I confess or whatever the song was, and what she said was he didn't admit to anything, which he really didn't. And what she said is that he's just showing you guys, and she used the right terminology too. She said he's just showing you guys, his narcissistic personality is coming out, and all he's doing is gaslighting. She said he's not telling the truth, nor is he admitting to anything. Now, this came from his ex-wife. I'm reading what evil is, a pretty face. Yeah, evil can be a pretty face. It sure can. Okay, and in positive vibrations, I didn't know. I was ashamed to tell people of the abuse, things I allowed to happen, the drinking, the drugs, the discards, the self-esteem, destroying actions. His mother has narcissistic tendencies. And then, let's see. You know what, positive vibration, most people that have been in a relationship with a narcissist or even abuse, period, the first thing that they say is that they were totally ashamed. They were ashamed. Many powerful women, many powerful men. How in the world did I get into a relationship like this? I have education. I have, because that's how good they are. They mimic, they mirror, and it's easy. And a lot of times we talk too much. And so we tell them all our vulnerabilities. We tell them all, our hurts, our pains, our heart, and then they take that and use that against you. But they become that perfect person for you, and it's an illusion. And then the mask falls off, and and then the devalue starts. Mr. Naylor said, my therapist said, imagine when she goes through menopause. That's going to be ugly. Run, Forrest, run. They get worse with age. Then leaving is a blessing. Life is fun again. Thank goodness. TMG, can you do a video for those well-meaning people who want to ask questions and tell us what they think when all they're doing is triggering us? Wait a minute. So, okay, say that again. Do a video for people that mean well, and they ask questions, and then they tell you what they think when all they're doing is triggering us. Okay, give me some examples so I know how to do that. I mean, give me some examples, okay? Sunflower said, yes, I'm ashamed I was ever married to someone like him. And you know what, Miss Sunflower, babe? They're master manipulators, right, Miss Donna? Miss Sunflower, most everyone that I've ever talked to that has been in a relationship with a narcissist said the exact same thing. They were completely ashamed. Tasha said, coverts are the worst. I'm too glad I was able to get out. Been out since 2014. Yes. Hold on. How do they say it on television? Yes, honey. Yes. Been out since 2014. He tried everything to provoke me. Called the police all the time. Tried to get me locked up. The police caught on to him. One officer came back to our home and told me to get out. He was trying to get me to catch a case. You know what? Did you listen? I hope you did. I hope you listened. And Nantuo. Thanks, TMG. Wow. Okay, let's see. Miss Tasha Hunter Sparks said, they take the kids to hurt you. Yes. He did it with his ex-girlfriend. I was married to him. He thought he had me locked into the relationship. That's what they do. And that they'll use the children against you. They'll use the children to hurt you. You know, the children become a source of supply. They do use the children to hurt you. They do. Kimar Brown said, yep, positive vibration. I definitely feel you on that, because things have done to keep, because the things I have done to keep the relationship alive, I would never have done in a million years, but it's all good, because at the end of the day, you got to finish the statement, Kimar. At the end of the day. Come on, you got to finish the statement. Okay, let me scroll down over here. Yes, I did good. And you still got the kids, right? You got them safe. There's no contact. Is he still able to see the children? You know, is that still a case? Tasha, does he still see the children? You guys still have to allow him to see the kids? Okay, TMG said, for example, my sister will ask, how am I doing? When I tell her how I'm feeling, she'll say, well, I think you should do this or that, blah, blah, blah. And I think you're taking too long with this. You know what? You got to remember, those people that are not in the mental health field, in the counseling field, in the coaching field, you know, you have those that are in the religious sector, you know, those that understand the process of grief and loss. Everybody that you talk to, you know, well, like you said, well-meaning family and friends, you know, they don't understand psychology. They don't understand grief and loss. Let's see. But they don't understand grief and loss. They don't understand what you're going through. And remember, when you're talking about domestic violence, people don't understand narcissist abuse. They don't understand narcissist abuse is very, very, very unique compared to regular abuse. Totally different, and totally different time frame from healing. People cannot rush you through a healing process. People cannot rush you and tell you that, even when you say you lose a loved one, people can't just rush you through your grief and loss process. They can't rush you through grief. You have to grieve at your pace. And it's good to get a counselor to help you through that grief process, because it does take time. But with narcissist abuse, you know, the recovery from that sometimes is long. You know, I hate to say it, but sometimes that process is long. It takes a long time to heal from something like that. Miss Tasha said, and the family are all in on it. They know what he is. They too are narcs. But remember, he's got flying monkeys. You know, they got flying monkeys, and of course, you're going to be you're going to be the, what's the word I'm looking for? You're going to be the bad guy. Of course, you're going to be the bad guy, and they probably already have, and he has smear campaigns you with the family. So he makes sure that he has his flying monkeys and his groupies in order to protect his image and make you look bad. Of course, you're going to be the bad guy. Did you expect anything else? Sorry, you guys, my cat. David Thorne said, I wish you never had met her. I think everybody on here said wish they would never have met the narc. And Miss Tasha said, yes, he gets them every other weekend. You don't say anything, right? You just exchange kids and that's it. It's a nightmare. I'm in Kansas and he's in Oklahoma. They are 6 and 4 years old. It's too much. I'm in the process to get it changed through the courts. Also, Miss Tasha, go and talk to a DV professional, a domestic violence advocate, and talk to them and see how they can help you. Excuse me. See how they can help you. See how they can help you. Talk to them about what's going on and then see what they can do to help you. Okay, let's see. So positive operation. At first things were great, a little smothering but comforting. Over time I thought things were strange. I would ask myself, who does that? They, him, and his family did. Yup, that's the red flag. Most of the times we don't know that we need to run and get out of there. And so, of course, you know, we're like that person in a horror movie that has to go check out what the noise was. No, we don't realize we need to run. Kimar Brown said, the illusion, and with me being a loyal person, I was trying to stick it out to the end, but sometimes we just choose to stick it out with the wrong person. I'm so glad we didn't have kids together. I'm glad too. But you're absolutely right. You know, when you go into a relationship with a narcissist, your heart means well. Your heart desires to have a family, to love this person, to, you know, to grow with this person, maybe even grow old with the person. So your heart means well when you go in there, but a narcissist's heart never means well. They always look at you as supply. They don't have the capacity to love, they don't have the capacity to bond, and they don't have the capacity to feel compassion, you know, or empathy. I think I just said compassion. But empathy, they don't have the capacity to do that. That's what we have over them, is that we have the ability to feel compassion. We have the ability to heal and learn from our experiences. They'll never heal. They're always doing the exact same thing over and over again. And the game just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But we have the capacity to heal. They don't. We were together. TMG said we were together for 4 years. I just left. I'm doing great to be 100. No contact. Yeah, okay, hold on. Yeah, he tried to kill me, but this trauma bond is real. Just being transparent, y'all. I'm not crazy. No, you're not crazy. Most everybody on here will tell you stories similar to what you just said. I'm not saying similar to your story, but what I'm saying is that most people think they're crazy just by saying, first of all, you know, is it strange that I want to go back, yet I know I shouldn't be there? You know, is it strange that I still love the individual? No, none of that is strange. Not in this situation. You know, a lot of that is very real feelings, very real emotions because of the type of abuse that you guys went through. Jeanette Jordan. Hi, Miss Jeanette Jordan. Not sure if you got my question. I'm sorry, I must have missed it. But my ex seems so happy with his new wife. He is with her all the time. I was with him 25 years. Been through it all. They seem perfect for each other. Is he happy? No, girl, he's not happy. You need to go back and look. I did a video on is the narc happier with the new supply? Or I think that's the video. What video did I do, you guys? But I think it was is a narc happier with the new supply? He's not. He's doing the exact same thing. You were happy with when you got with that narcissist, you were happy too. In the very beginning, you were happy too. And they learned how to play the game, and you know, unfortunately, if you've been with them for a long time, you trained them. And so now, what you don't realize though, which the new wife doesn't know, is the fact that that she got a monster on her hands, and it's only a matter of time that he begins to manifest his monstericious ways, if that's I'm just gonna create a word, but it's only a matter of time where the mask is gonna fall off and he's gonna start devaluing her. Then probably she might be in the devalue stage, but like most people, is like, you know, let me just stick it out. You know, you got little issues. He's probably, you know, smear campaigning you over there too. It's your fault that he feels this way. Trust you me, he's not happy with her either. It's only a matter of time that he grows bored. They grow bored like that. They grow bored very, very easy, and they have to get back on the hunt. Trust you me, she's probably also not the only one. I can tell you that now. But no, he's not happy with her. Remember, there's a video that I did. If you watch my videos, I'm not sure which videos, but it's just like getting a brand new shiny car, a brand new shiny toy. You're excited when you first get it, and after you have it for a while, okay, now you're bored with it. Now you want something else, or a new toy, or a new car. You know, the leather smell of a new car begins to fade. And then we all talk about how, man, I just love that new leather smell. And eventually your car is dirty and everything. But when you first got that car, you know, you made sure you roll by some windows so you can see what you look like in that car. But once you got accustomed to the car, you stopped doing it. Then you wanted a different car. Well, a narcissist is the exact same way. The car serves a purpose for transportation. If the car breaks down, it just means you need to go buy another car, right? Well, that's exactly how a narcissist thinks. So it's only a matter of time that he's probably already devaluing her. She just doesn't realize it. She's being trauma bonded. And there's only a matter of time where she's going to realize, okay, because he's going to be worse in the next relationship. Trust me, he's going to be worse in the next relationship. And then Jay Naylor said, yes, at TMG, they want you to feel crazy, but it's one of their weapons to distort your reality. Exactly. Nantawo. Yes, it takes a long time to heal, more especially as people think it's just a breakup and that you should just get over it and move on. Absolutely not. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. And most people don't understand that. You're exactly right. People don't understand that. Jeanette Jordan said, my ex-narc family were evil too. And you know what? You make sure you cut yourself off from them. Hey, Miss Donna. David Thorne says she drove 3 hours to New York just to cook me some food. I thought that was strange. That is strange. But you just didn't catch the red flags. You thought she was probably just doing something nice. No, she was trying to hook you. They get bored within a year to 2 years, sometimes quicker than that. The first 6 months they meet you, they're already searching for someone else. Oh, sometimes earlier than that. Sometimes while they're hoovering you, they're already hoovering someone else or have someone else on the side. So sometimes they already have supplies while they're love bombing you. So sometimes they have all those other supplies. You just happen to one that was easy to get. And so they got you, but they still have those other ones out there. It's a mess. It's like it's a mess. That's what it is, David. They are a mess. It is a mess. Let's see here. Positive vibrations. I was with an ex-narc for 12 years, discarded in 2008, cheated on since 2009. The biggest problem was the stepfather told me who the ex-narc was on the second visit to the family home. See, and sometimes we hard-headed. We don't want to listen. And some mothers will tell you, baby, I don't think you want to get with that one. You might want to leave that one alone. But you know how we are. Oh, no, I can change him. No, you can't change him. Or I can change her. No, you can't. His mom was the queen of narcs. Well, if one of the parents was a narcissist, better believe one of the kids probably going to be one too. Kamar Brown said, been no contact since October 19th of 2018. You know even the day. Living stress-free now. Hope to never hear from her again. I've blocked her on social media and even Cash App. So you only want her to send, money, huh? Let me see, TMG, positive vibration 61. It was like that for me and my ex and his family. Weirdest thing ever, no boundaries. And then Jeanette Jordan said, hi, how are you? Kamar, Cash App block. I know, right? Not the Cash App, Kamar. Not the Cash App. Positive Vibration said the Get Out references were everywhere. The mother of his son who asked what was the pet name, he called me, did it for all of his women, bought the new supply to the birth of their son 32 years ago. Dang. Red flags. Jay Naylor, I remember expressing my feelings and concerns, then I would get that evil stare and she would always say, you make no sense when you talk. Translation, I don't care about your concerns, get over it. Exactly. Jeanette Jordan said, thank you so much. I listen to you all the time. God bless you. Well, thank you, Miss Jeanette. I really appreciate it. I'm honored. Thank you. Kimara at TMG, when she discarded me, I felt like my world. So I definitely know what you're feeling. And we was only together for 18 months. Wow. That's a hard hit at such a short period of time. Miss Tasha Hunter Sparks said, it's so very hard when you have kids with them. No matter what, the narcissist or not, they still have rights. Yeah. I've gone no contact. I requested our family wizard for communication. Our family wizard for communication. The judge agreed. He can't contact me anymore. No. Okay, let me see. No text, emails, or calls. Our family wizard is monitored through the court. I stay in my car during the exchanges always. Pick up and drop off. I stay completely away. Hold on. Away from him, and he hates it. He hates he's losing control. We meet at the police station too. He hates that too. He doesn't want to look like the bad guy. He wants to look like the victim. Family. So it's called, what is it called? It's called Family Wizard. So do you know, Miss Tasha, if this is in all states? If it is, I can give it to some of my clients and people that may be going through some of these situations. David Thorne's, when my kid's mother passed away and I told her about it, she had no remorse. Wow. See? They have no empathy. They have no compassion. They can't feel like we do. Let's see. Okay, you guys. Well, I've been hard on here for a little while. I know you guys have to go to work in the morning, and I know I need to go get something for my nose because the weather up here is cold. And I need to go turn on the heat. I don't know why I sat down and didn't turn on the heat. But need to get something for my nose. I'm kind of get congested. But so hopefully you guys enjoyed this talk. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the chit chat. I'm glad you guys have questions. Thank you guys so much for trusting me. You know, thank you guys so much for sharing, you know, your experiences. Some of these experiences are just horrible. You know, TMG, you know, for someone to kill your dogs. Miss Tony, for you to find out that he was trying to kill you. Let me see. Podge Rich, what happens with the anger? I'm having trouble with forgiving myself. You know what? That's the biggest thing. A lot of times we have problems forgiving ourselves for making the choices that we made. But think about it for a minute. You know, in the average relationship, it's different if the person presents themselves and they're real when they present themselves. But you're dealing with a narcissist. A narcissist isn't real. If a narcissist just presented themselves like they really were, do you really think, you know, most of us would have chosen the people that we've chosen? Absolutely not. You were tricked. You were manipulated. You know, you were tricked into these relationships. So this is not just a, you didn't make just a mistake. What happened was you were fooled and tricked into these relationships. And then you found out later on what you were dealing with. Let me look here. Miss Tasha Hunter Sparks said, I'm not sure. It's called Our Family Wizards. Costs $100 per person. Okay, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna go look, you know, for some of my clients. But yeah, Miss, I don't know if it's Miss or Mister, but Podge, yeah, I mean, a lot of times people beat themselves up for the decisions that they made. But if the narcissist was real and presented themselves not as an illusion and presented themselves, we wouldn't have made the decisions that we made. Think about it for a minute. We were tricked. We were manipulated. You know, most of you guys didn't even know what you were getting into, so you were fooled into that. You were fooled into giving up, you know, your heart, your vulnerabilities, and you had no idea. But if you had more knowledge, you wouldn't have. Now you have more knowledge, but you didn't have any knowledge. And so don't beat yourself up, Podge. Don't beat yourself up for the decision that you made. We all have made some bad decisions. This just happens to be one of the most painful decisions that most of us have made. But you know, but all of us have made bad decisions. Can't beat yourself up. You're learning a lot. You got to learn a lot. You're learning something from this experience, okay? Let's see, TMG Kamar Brown, I left him 1025. So yeah, you're almost 90 days out. Stay no contact. I'm determined not to be statistic by going back 6 times and finally leaving on the 7th time. My first time leaving. Miss Levy said I enjoyed it so much. Well, thank you, Miss Levy. I appreciate it. I'm so honored that you hang in there with me, that you hung in there with me. I know it's past your bedtime. You're supposed to be in bed. Go to sleep. Positive vibration, TMG, yes. The family gathering showed no boundaries. Ex-Narc said I did not flow when I talked. No, because the ex-Narc didn't flow. Good night, Dr. Carmen and Chad. Good night, Miss Donna, just being real. Thank you so much for joining. Nantawo. Thanks a lot for your information. It means a lot. It heals, and I wish I knew about this earlier. I'm so honored. Thank you so much. Go back and watch some of those videos, okay? There's a lot of questions you were asking and some of the stuff that you were going through. If you go from the bottom video, just go on my site, go to the first video, and then just start working your way up to the latest video. It'll get that information, okay? That information to get into your system, and it's going to change the way that you're thinking. Remember, I always say cognitive behavior therapy, which I use, you know, which most clinicians do use, is changing the way that you think. Changing cognitions in order to change your behavior. You have to change the way that you think in order to heal. Talk therapy is healing. Yes, it is. Love you too, Miss Lovey. Good night. Take care, everybody. And then over here, I'm getting ready to get off you guys, okay? And so let's see. David Thorne said, you're right. You're so right. Thank you so much. It's worst decision ever. Yeah, you're right. But if we knew better, you know we wouldn't have made these decisions. I wouldn't wish a narcissist on my worst enemy. I said the exact same thing. I was mad at one point, but I wouldn't wish that on anybody because that's almost like a disease you can't get rid of. I'm telling you now. Take care, everybody. That's what Positive Vibration said. Hey, you guys. So it's getting late. I know everybody. I don't know what time you guys are all in. When you know better, you do better. Sometimes. And you're right, though. You're right, Tebow. You're right. Sometimes we do better and sometimes we still make the same mistakes. But when we get hit hard enough, we finally wake up and say, dang, maybe I should listen. You know, so, okay, so let me get my languages. So I know Brazil is oi. Denmark is goddag. Holland and Germany is hallo. Korea, annyeonghaseyo. Hawaii, aloha, uh, um, hola, Spanish. So if I'm missing any languages, you guys let me know, okay? Christy to Hamburg. Uh, Let me see. Kamar said, "I'm so glad I was this discarded because I can't even front. I was hooked. I probably wasn't even able to let go. As crazy as it sounds, I remember one day I was trying to leave. Night, everybody. You're so welcome, Mr. Naylor. Adios. Bye, Tebow." And she called the police on me just for getting my stuff, knowing my kids was in the car with me. Aww. And I love you. Good night, everybody. That's bad, Kamar. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Let's see. Thanks for tonight's video. Oh, you're so welcome. Good night, Mr. David. Thank you for being here. Good night, Miss Teresa. Hey, you guys, I'm getting ready to go, okay? You guys going to keep on chit-chatting, too. But I'm getting ready to go. It's time to go to bed. So you guys go to sleep. I hope you guys have an awesome week. I'll be back on Tuesday, okay? I hope you guys have an awesome week. I always say the same thing my friend always says is go and be great. I appreciate all the support. Thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. Go share it. You know, hit the like button, the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell so you can hear whenever I come on live, whenever I post videos. I post from Tuesday through Fridays. Only time I don't is when I have to get on the road and travel. But I am Dr. Carmen Bryant. I am your host, Dr. Carmen Bryant. Overcoming Narcissist Abuse on YouTube, and over on Facebook is Psychological Health Consultants and Services. You guys look for me on Facebook. You're welcome to like and follow me. Make sure you share these videos. Somebody, hey, Miss LaFrench, but somebody needs to hear this. You never know who is in a narcissistic relationship. Narcissist abuse is worse than regular abuse. And I know there's no regular about it, but narcissist abuse is not something that people just get over and move on too quickly, okay? But hey, thank you guys so much for joining me. I was trying to read at the same time. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you for this 1 hour or a little more than, what was it, about what? An hour and 20 minutes or something like that. Thank you guys so much for spending that time with me on a Sunday evening. I wish you guys all well, and I wish you guys all the healing. Please send your emails or send me emails. Tell me your story or ask me whatever question you want to ask me, and I can make it into a video. Whatever you want to see me talk about, okay? And it's Dr. Carmen Bryant, which is DrCarmenBryant @outlook.com. Send me an email. Let me know what you'd like me to talk about, what you'd like to hear about, okay? You guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. You guys sleep well. You go be great. And you make sure you get your healing. Get your healing. It's time to heal. It's time to think about yourself, and it's time to heal. You guys go be great.